back. Episode 22, A2TP podcast. International walk in the house with my co-host.
Your girl Tosh.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We back. Appreciate y'all allowing us to come back for another week. Not allowing us, but we appreciate y'all. But we just back for another week. How y'all doing? Hope y'all good out there. Hope everything good with y'all families. We back, episode 22. How did you like 21?
21 was good. It was good. It was, the questions I thought were good. The questions you asked me I thought were good. After the fact, I kind of, the bucket list question kind of threw me for a loop, so some other things had popped in my head. But
you could always go back to bucket list.
Yeah.
Like you about to kick the bucket, so.
I ain't gonna even knock on wood.
That's not real wood anyway.
But I thought it was good. It was it's a good dialogue. We got some stuff off our chest, or you got some stuff off your chest. But it was a good episode.
That,
You don't remember that?
get some stuff off my chest.
Like you had beef with me.
Whatever.
But it turned out to be a good episode. I enjoyed it. It was
Whatever. I enjoyed it too. I think we had beef. I don't think I had beef. But
What's your wild and woes of the week? I'll start with you, if you don't mind.
You was asking?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Sure.
What was your wow of the week?
My wow of the week was, it actually happened today. I'm getting another job.
Oh.
Like going somewhere else, and I like the Arsenal, but yeah, I'm glad to go somewhere
You've been
else.
there for like 2 years.
Christmas makes 3 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've been there for 2.5 years. Shit, we're in June, so yeah, 2 years, 6 months.
So knowing the commute for you is like less than 10 minutes. That's
8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay. So, and I know that you've had some jobs, that were like 30, 45 minutes, and then you had that one job that was like 2 jobs that were like 2 hours.
Worth out in Doylestown.
Yeah. Oh no, then you had the other place out in Princeton. So you had some really so you had some really long commutes. So that doesn't, the short commute doesn't override like I don't want to say boredom because it's work, but you getting tired of being at the same place.
The short commute does override me being boredom. I don't think you would understand, but when you're at a job for so long, the new work looks old to you.
Okay.
So it's like
you're
just tired of staring at the same shit over and over again. So the fresh paint doesn't look new to me no more. But to somebody who saw it for the first time they're seeing it, yeah, it looks new to them. But to me, this shit's old. It's 2 years old. And
okay, I feel you.
Yeah, it's worn on the morale. It's worn on just me as individually. And I can't wait to get to this next job and smoke it. But like that's just my focus going to this next job. And it's in Marlton. So it's 8 minutes away too.
Okay.
So it's like 8
so
minutes
that way.
Business,
though.
8 minutes that way. Nobody got to know where I'm at. Marlton's pretty big.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's good. You taking your team with you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, taking my guys with me. My woe of the week is the big fella. Yeah, the big fella ain't coming back.
You talked to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ain't coming back. His situation is dire, and he just needs to be where he is.
Okay.
So just leave it at that. I don't want to put his business out on the internet, but
the internet.
On the internet, because y'all could be cruel, and the big fella, he don't need cruel people around him right now. But his situation is dire. And I just, I'm glad I got a chance to talk to him because he was supposed to come back 8 days ago. He didn't. And finally yesterday, I got a chance to talk, or the day before yesterday, I got a chance to talk to him. And he just need to stay where he at.
Okay.
So that was my wow. That was my woe. What about you? What do you want to go with first? Wow or woe?
I guess my wow of the week, just thanking God to see another day. Nothing, magnificent happened per se, but always grateful for another day, being
That's
healthy.
humbling.
Yeah, definitely being
to
healthy.
Stop and not look for something that happened, but life happened.
Exactly. I woke up. We woke up. We're healthy. We're safe. Our family is healthy and safe, and so that in of itself, that's a why I'm grateful for that.
What about your woe?
My woe of the week, so we speak our truths,
mm-hmm.
and we haven't been our best selves,
mm-hmm.
and I've been missing my friend.
mm-hmm.
Not that he been nowhere, but it's been some things that we've been going. I don't even want to say things that we've been going through, but just that us not being at our peak. It sucks, but I know we good. We'll be good. Nobody ain't cheat. Nobody ain't hit each other. Nobody, ain't no disrespect going on. But it's never a good feeling when we are not our best because you're my homie. You're my homie, lover, friend.
I heard that before. That's something like old lady baby.
My friend with
homie, lover, friend.
You my homie, lover, friend. My friend with benefits.
Last time a girl called me a homie, it wasn't good.
You check all my boxes. You my homie, you my lover, you my friend, you my husband, you my confidant, you my therapist.
And husband falls in there at fourth?
No, I was saying by but
y'all see that husband fell in there at fourth?
No, because we were saying homie, lover, friend.
She could have called me a husband, homie, lover, friend.
No, I didn't make homie, lover, friend up. I think I shouldn't even say that because I think that came from R. Kelly or something. Shit, I want to use no bad. R. Kelly euphemisms.
I heard an R. Kelly song the other day and I was like, damn, this song is rocking, but
turn it off.
Should I be listening to this?
No.
And it was like I hadn't heard an R. Kelly song in years, and I had read the other day he got out. And I seen a picture of him walking with his lawyer. He was out.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
He had a mask on, a coat and a hood. And he was coming out. And
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then like a couple days later, I heard a song. Well, it was somebody else's song, but he was on the hook, and it was like, damn, I ain't heard this dude in a long, and this song is banging. What should I be listening to this?
All them kids that were singing "I Believe I Can Fly" for graduation. Cut that.
Yeah, I don't think it's no more. I believe you can fly for graduation.
Yeah.
So this episode is gonna be kind of like a piggyback on the last episode. Like you just said, we're living our truths, and we never want to come here and be flat out or have a flat out argument on camera. I mean, that's just not who we are. Even in living our truths, we're not just going to disrespect each other or argue or let people see us in a light that we don't want y'all to see, because it's up to us for y'all, for what we want y'all to see. But we just gonna I just want to have a conversation honestly with some general questions and kind of refer them to us, if you wouldn't mind.
Do I have a choice?
No, you don't. So now that you in here, you in the mix.
I should have called out today.
Yeah, you little baby, we in the mix, man. Coming up in the mix.
I should have called out. All right.
So this probably isn't a general question. This is a question basically about us, and it starts off.
We don't even have no water today.
Sorry, you should have got some. You brush your teeth?
Yes, I brush my teeth.
You
yeah,
flush them?
I'm good.
And you can answer and I'm gonna answer,
okay.
And you give your perspective. You get the floor, I get the floor. Do we argue like pros?
Wow.
And that that's more than a yes or no question.
I think that's subjective because
Well, just base it on what your thoughts are about. Okay, right. And then I'm gonna give you what my thoughts is. Because this question is a specific question about us. It's not a general question.
Right. So, I mean, the reason why I say it's subjective because how do pros argue? Like when you say, do we argue like pros?
So I have to define pro.
Right. So are we good at arguing? Like, I don't know how to
I want you to interpret that as, are we good at arguing? Do we not hurt each other's feelings? Are we not disrespectful? Do we know how to argue without it being a serious ramification following?
Okay, so with that being said, I guess I'll implement a scale. On a scale of 1 to 10, I can say we're probably 1 being a bad arguer, 10 being
okay
arguing like pros. I would say we're probably like a 7, 8. And the reason why I say that is because we don't disrespect each other. Like, we don't call each other names. We ain't. It don't get dirty. Like, we argue. We're more passionate arguers, where we're arguing our point, like what I'm trying to get you to understand, what you're trying to get me to understand. We not just saying stuff to throw it out there to hurt each other's feelings, and I don't think we've ever been that way. So that's why I say, that's why that's the good part about it. I think why I wouldn't say we argue like pros. Y'all don't judge my nails if you can see them, because my polish came off.
Oh my God.
But the reason why I wouldn't say we argue like pros, because I think sometimes because of us being so passionate, we lose the ability to effectively communicate. And when I say that, I think a big part of communication is not only saying what you have to say, but listening to what the other person has to say. So I think that's what we lose out on. So that's why I don't think we're the best, because, and it's weird to say we're not the best arguers. I think, the best people would be those people who did argue. You effectively communicate, and you never have to raise voices and stuff like that. You know how I am, and I've said this before, I don't like to raise my voice. Like, I'm probably one of those people that people hate to argue with, because you start hollering, and raising my voice for me is triggering to myself, and it kind of is like, it's almost like if I'm raising my voice, I'm angry, and it puts me in a different mindset. So I don't want
about to fight or something.
Like, I'm going to say stuff that I shouldn't say, or I'm going to start like my mouth is going to be dirty and cursing a lot, and so that's why I don't like raising my voice, because it's like, if I'm yelling and screaming, it should be I mean, not to you, but it should, like, if I'm yelling and screaming at somebody in the street, it's gonna be disrespectful.
But you're not talking to somebody.
I know, that's why I don't like to holler at you. Like, when we argue, like, it may be a passionate argument, but I don't like raising my voice, because that's just triggering for me. It's like, if I'm raising my voice, I'm really angry, and I don't want to, and I don't, as mad as we may be at each other at that moment, or whatever the situation is that's going on, I don't want to be angry where I lose my cool and I say like that. That's not me. I don't like to say stuff that I don't mean. I don't like to say stuff to hurt your feelings. I don't like to. I think it's so stupid for people to go through some horrible argument to come back and have to say sorry for everything. We argue and we go through, but we say what we mean. So it's not we may have to apologize for things that may have caused the argument, but we don't put ourselves in a position where we have to apologize. I'm not saying we never have, but it's not typical that we put ourselves in a position to have to apologize about what we said during the argument, because we don't do that. We don't disrespect each other in that way. So I would say we're a 7.5.
I would think that we are somewhere in between that too. I would say a 7. I would say a 7 I would say in between a 7 and an 8 on a good day, on a 6 and a 7 on a bad day.
Okay.
I think that we have, although we've never been the type to be disrespectful or call each other out our names and stuff like that, we still had to. I remember us learning how to argue, because I remember our arguments would be volatile, and nothing, it would just be swept under the rug. Like, nothing would be fixed, we would just calm down,
a whole bunch of hollering and screaming, and
then go back to whatever we was doing, and not speak for a couple days, and that would be it. So I think that we have gotten better in that sense, but I also think that we lack in, like you said, we don't have to apologize for what we said in the argument. We have to sometimes stop and think about how we said it, and how it came out, because I think in our arguments, although, and I'm gonna keep saying it, we have gotten better from years ago, there's too much emotion sometimes between us. There's way too much emotion. It seems like, for me, it's, I always feel misunderstood. I always feel like you challenge me a lot, and it's difficult for me when I don't see you challenge anybody else in your life and you challenge me. So that's a difficult thing for me to deal with. But I do agree that we can be on a 7 or 8 and sometimes on a 6 or 7.
I don't see, and not, not this is a judgment-free zone. We are who we are. People are who they are. But people that have those volatile arguments, and I'm not even talking about physicality. That's a completely different subject.
That's one argument and done.
But I'm not even talking about the people that put their hands on each other. But I'm talking about people that argue, but like, it's really like,
fuck you, pussy, you fat bitch.
Like, yeah, you whore. Like how I just don't understand. I can't fathom being in that kind of situation and me saying those things to you, or you saying those things to me. Because it's not
an argument. It's a go in your hate bag and let's see who can hurt the other person's feelings the most. And that's how you equate winning. That's how you equate shutting down the argument, where it's like, it's almost like a like, I want this to end, so this is how I'm gonna make it end. I'm gonna say the most hurtful shit. She's gonna fold, he's gonna fold, and then it's no more arguing.
And I of course am in no way condoning violence, but it's almost like when you get to that point, how don't somebody swing? Like, because you done took it so
That's
far.
Even another level. The disrespect for me is one level. The physical part is the ultimate level. So I think there's couples out there who argue like that. I mean, it's not us, and I'm glad it's not us, but there's couple out there who argue like that, like, you little dick pussy, and you fucking fat bitch, like all this crazy shit, and they just still operate the same.
But that's what I was alluding to, was I can't fathom being in that situation. Everybody goes through arguments and obstacles and things, but being in that situation and what it looks like on the other side when it's time to make up, or it's time to hug each other, kiss each other, have sex, like
those arguments I think always end in makeup sex, because it's angry makeup sex, because nothing's resolved. Because those people, when they start arguing about something that each other may have said while we were out, now we get home and we're going in the hate bag. Now you're talking about, I'm a pussy, I'm calling you a whore, you a bitch, you saying my mom suck, like all this old shit. And now I'm trying to pick the most hateful thing, so I say some shit like, that's why your uncle touched your sister. Or, just some weird shit. And it's like, why would you say that? And now it's like, the only way you can make up is angry sex. You can't make up saying, yo, sorry about that, I said a bunch of shit. Like, that shit don't fly. So I think the only way they do make up is angry sex, like DMX sex and belly, like rough, like that kind of sex. Like
Keisha.
All right. Do you still, and this is for you and me, do you still want to be touched if you're mad at your partner? And I'm gonna stop saying mad or sad. If you're emotional at your partner, and you can go first. And this goes both ways. I want to be clear. If you're in an argument or disagreement where you're mad, you're emotional, not the other person, like your emotions is up.
Right. See, it's difficult for me to say, because again, how I am, where when we go through an argument, I want to get to the bottom of it and not sweep it under the rug, but I want to move past it. Like, what do we need to do, say, fix, whatever it is. Like, it's never been my desire to be like, we're not speaking for 3, 4, 5 days. That we operate differently in that way with our emotions. So for me, it's weird, because yes, in that moment when I'm upset, no. But then at the tail end, it's kind of like, if it's me that's upset about something, maybe I do want you to hug me in a way of, it's kind of like extending the olive branch. Maybe no, because if I'm the one that's upset, I'm probably... So
it's almost like a subliminal sorry?
Not sorry, no, because you may not be sorry. Or subliminal
peace?
It's like offering. trying to initiate peace. Not saying sorry, because you may stand where you stand, I stand where I stand, and maybe it may be one of those situations where there's no compromise per se. We just have a difference of opinion, and that settles it. I don't know. So I don't take it as you're saying sorry, but yes, that olive branch, that extension of peace, or at least initiating it, or that, yeah, we may not be ready to talk, but that little kiss right here on the side of my neck, and just letting me know, like, I want to punch your head off, but I love you. Or, me coming and, kissing you on your forehead. Like, I thought about stabbing you in your sleep last night, but I love you to death. Like, so it's those little gestures it's reassurance, kind of, where it's like, all right, we mad, but I love you. Yeah, now, we know that we've never been the people, we not the make up sex people. Like, I never, and I wasn't always like that.
We never use sex to say sorry.
But you taught me that, like, years ago. Like, we never tainted our sex with that emotional piece of it, because then it's like, when we good, the sex is amazing. If we ain't that good, then it's I don't want to be thinking like, this, I can't, I still am mad at him. Like, I don't know, we just don't. So yeah, so touched, kissed, just as those small little reassuring gestures, it's not a bad thing. Again, it's not a saying I'm sorry. It's not saying we're just like a light switch. Okay, we're not speaking now, we speaking just because I rubbed your arm. But it is just saying, we're gonna be all right.
I think for me, I struggle with that because I don't. Like, the arguments affect me different. I love being happy. Mm-hmm. And they just affect me different, and I'm more of the person where you are, let's get to the bottom of it and move on. I'm more of dissecting it and why. Like, why do we get here? Why do we have to come to such, why do we have to be like this? Like, why do we have to do this to try to figure out, like, let's not, when we come to that street next time, let's go another way. Like, let's not go down that street. So I want to know why, and I want to feel my emotions. Like, I've spent years with you where we swept arguments under the rug and just went back to doing what we were doing. And they always came out again 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, more volatile. Never to the point where it was physical, but just more volatile, more,
because it was never resolved.
Yeah, more volatile than the last argument. So I'm always a person who will be like, okay, I want to feel what I need to feel, because again, I don't want to say nothing, or we're not phony. We never been that way. Mm-hmm. And I can't be around you, especially now. If you're mad at me, obviously I feel sorry, and I have to wait until your feelings or emotions calm down. And I just feel like, not like that, but I want to just go through my emotions, and I can't be phony with you. I can't act like I want to, touch and kiss on you when I really don't. I'm mad at you, and that's just for that moment. Obviously, you know how I feel about you. I love you to death, but for that moment, no, I don't want to kiss you. No, I don't want to hug you. I don't want to touch your hand, because I'm mad at you right now, and I'm trying to figure out how not to be this mad at you again.
And for me, I'm a touchy-feely person anyway with you. So it's almost like, in my mind, I start thinking like, nigga, it's been 3 days and you ain't kissed me. Like, all right, if you can go 3 days, then, like, how can you go 3 days?
That's the spoiledness of you, though. That's all.
I'm just telling you how I feel.
Yeah, it's the spoiledness of you, and that's something you probably need to work on. But that's just the spoiledness of you, because again, you want to go through your emotions and feel what you need to feel so that you come back right. And I just want to do the same thing. I just want to, and I've never been in tune with my emotions like that. I've always been the one to holler and foam at the mouth and do all that shit. And it's like, I don't want to do that no more. I just want to know what I'm feeling, identify it, and try not to get that way the next time.
And I think too, because you don't always like, how I am. We talk about like shows like Snapped and stuff, when it's like, oh, a woman collected evidence for 8 months and then killed her husband. Like, in 8 minutes if I know something.
She can't keep anything.
Like, I'm not that type to let anything brew up to collect no evidence. I mean, not that, you know what I mean. Like, not to, but if it was that type of situation, like, I'm checking it, or I'm addressing it, or I'm asking a question, or I'm letting my feelings be known, because it physically like disturbs my body if something don't feel good. And he knows it's this weird thing that happens to my mouth, and I have had bosses, managers in the workplace who have told me before, like, I can tell when you're upset about something because he can explain it better than me. Something happens to my lip, and when I'm upset about something, people who know that, they can see it. I don't know what it is. I can't stop it. I can't hide it. I guess
you can't do anything about it. It's one of your,
I don't know.
Not self-defenses. What do you call it?
I don't know.
Defense mechanisms.
Okay.
It's
literally like I'm trying to hold my emotions in, and they swell up my face.
It does. And
like,
she can't help it. Like,
and he'd be like, "What's wrong?" "Nothing. Your lip is swollen."
Yeah. Like, it's a dead giveaway.
It's crazy. It's like my emotions are about to spill out. So I guess that's why when something is bothering me, I have to say it, get it off my goal is to say it. Let's go through it, talk about it, get it off my chest so that we can move past it, because holding it in, like, I think I might faint somewhere, and they'd be like, well, she was just overcome with emotion.
You're retarded. Does arguing affect how you treat your partner? And again, this isn't a general question. This is a direct question. So you answer, and then obviously I'm going to answer because I'm the one being treated. So go ahead.
So are you
Does
answering?
arguing affect how you treat your partner?
So but what I'm saying is, am I saying how I treat you, and you're going to respond how you treat me?
You're going to.
But you said because you're the one being treated,
right,
so you're just going to respond to what I said.
No, I'm just letting you know I'm going to blast you if you're lying, because I'm the one that's getting the treatment.
But no, first of all, no matter what we go through, you still eat. I still make sure you have the things that you need. Yeah, it may not be, of course, like the previous question, we may not be as
friendly.
Yeah, as friendly, like
cordial.
But we still pray every morning before you leave out. I kiss you as you're leaving out the door. I make your lunch in the morning, make your breakfast, your coffee, and all that. So even in our worst moments, I try to still play my part in making sure you're taken care of physically. Now, the emotional part, if I see something is wrong with you or something like that, I may not let you see it, but I'll be checking, like, making sure you are all right, because I don't want something to be wrong and you feel like I'm not there. It's nothing that's that big where I'm not going to be there for you. So yeah, I may not be laying up on you because I don't want to smell you right now, but I still care about you. So yeah, we're not as friendly, but I still want to make sure physically that you're okay. Now let's hear if you about to lie, because you turn into a shady something.
I think. Wow, you sure you want to use that word?
Shady?
I was about to respond to what you were saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I agree with what you said. you kind of do. You do. You do still get up and take care what you need to take care of. 4:00 in the morning. I appreciate all that. What I have to say will go into the next question.
Okay.
Because it'll go into the next question because you do shit that's symbolic and it's innuendos and shit like that.
Wait, you didn't respond.
I am. I was about to read the question again.
No, you didn't. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Does arguing affect how you treat your partner? It does, because I don't want to hold you. I don't want to kiss you. Like you said, I don't want to smell you. I don't want to. I don't want to say that it's like I still want you there, but I don't want to show you
that you want me there.
Yeah, that I want you there.
Yeah.
So it's not like I want you to go somewhere, but it's just like I want you to know that I'm upset with you and that things aren't the things, I can't say that the same, but things aren't normal.
Your prayer even be different in the morning when you upset.
I do become short. I do become withdrawn. I do become I just become upset that we're not flying no more. And it when we argue, it just breaks my heart. It really does. And I've always told you that. Like it just fucks me up way different than you. And you know, maybe it's because of other parts of my life. Maybe if I had 8 friends and, you know, it would be better. But sometimes it knocks me off my rocker. So yeah, I do treat you different than if we're good, because I don't want to hug, I don't want to smell you, I don't want to have sex, I don't want to do any of that stuff. I want to figure out what's wrong with us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's kind of normal. I would rather, as much as I may not like it, I would rather you go through those emotions and feel it, and we get back to a better place, rather than you suppressing it. Because I think that's when bad stuff like it comes out, or it'll be like something minor and that
it'll be triggering.
Yeah, and it'll be like what are we even arguing for? Because it's something small, because you held it in and you just brushed it over. And you know, there have been times that you may have been upset about something, and I kind of knew you really didn't say it, but we kind of went on with our day, and it's like, yo, what is wrong? Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you yo. What's up? What's wrong? Because you're not yourself. What's going on? Like, I can feel your vibe. I know something is wrong. And then eventually you might have said nothing all day, and then eventually you'll come out and it's like, okay, I knew this. Like, I mean, I might not have known what it was, but I knew something was bothering, because we just know each other.
Right.
So that's I again, as much as I may not like it, because your process is different than mine and it's longer than mine, but I appreciate you going through that process, because I can't be around anybody just brushing something under the rug and knowing that you like sitting there like, I gotta say, like it's not comfortable. I can't be phony.
I was ready to say, and the affection will feel phony.
Yeah.
It'll feel stiff. It'll feel manufactured. Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't the way my baby kissed me. This isn't the way he usually laugh in my face. Like,
right.
This is a like
no. You can say a joke.
This leads into my next question.
Okay.
Are you petty when you're emotional with your partner?
Very. I can be. Let me say that. And you know what? I have to say this. This is not necessarily about us. That's not a good thing. And I acknowledge that. I won't say I hate. I don't like when people like hang their hat on being petty. This is my opinion. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a good trait that people have. I think we all have the tendency to do it, but
so the second part of that question is, are you petty when you're emotional with your partner? Why? Because even if you said yes or no, I was going to say why. But yes, you being truthful, because you are. She is very petty. Super petty. But I'm not
First
even
of all, we're asking each other to respond about ourselves. Your question wasn't for you
You're
to
right,
respond
but
about
I'm just saying, she's telling the truth. And being honest, why? Because it goes back to the first question of, I don't want to be but so not touched and so disconnected when we mad at each other. I still want something to be there, but yet five questions later, yes, I'm petty.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I said sometimes, because it's one of those things where it's like you said, I want you to know that I'm upset about something, or I want you to know something is bothering me. Mm-hmm. Or even it's like, because petty can be one extreme or the other, where like you're petty and you're doing like spiteful things, or you could be being petty and doing really nice things. I laughed about my head because I remember one time, this was years, it might have been more than 10 years ago, because you don't eat cookies like that. And I remember one time you were mad at me, or we were upset at each other, and I baked you some cookies. And I bought you some cookies and ice cream, and you was like, thank you. But like, I was being petty to be like, here you go. Like, and you was looking like, is she trying to kill me? Like, did she poison these cookies? And then on the other hand, it might be like, here go your dinner, and it's disgusting. You know what I mean? So it can go from one extreme to the other. I don't and it's almost like a non-physical way of fighting, like of
But
just
that
getting
healthy,
that aggression
off.
That's
something you should be doing?
No, that's why it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will. I think I have come a long way and have I'm not I don't demonstrate that pettiness as much as I used to. I think.
I think you still petty.
No, I said as much as
no,
okay.
No.
Okay.
Think that no, I think
let's wait for your answer.
I think the other way, where you try to get to the bottom line and move on, you got better at that, but you still can be petty. You still have that. I think, don't get mad at me, ladies. I think it's just like something that women can do. They can.
Oh, we can be the queen of petty.
Yeah,
like,
so
we
that's what I mean.
Can.
It's just something that y'all can do. I'd have to think real hard to be petty, but
no. Okay.
So
let's answer.
Am I petty or when I'm emotional with my partner? Yes, because again, I'm living my truth here, and she's the one who's getting the treatment. I am very petty because I don't. Again, most of the time when we go through arguments, she's super opinionated, and I feel super misunderstood. So we constantly try to work on ways where we understand each other. Like, listening has to be a huge factor in it, not just talking, because nobody's hearing. When somebody's talking and you're arguing, you're not listening to them. You're thinking of the next thing that you want to say to counteract what they're saying. So you're not listening. So in that sense, I'm petty. Yeah, I can be petty. Like, I can, and I'm not telling myself be petty. I just think the things that I withdraw from comes off as petty.
Okay, I can understand.
You follow what I'm saying? Because I'm not a petty person, but I know what it is, and I know that if I stop doing this or stop saying this, it can come off as petty.
But you bought me flowers. You still bought me flowers.
I'm still a husband.
See, that was one of those like olive branch things where it's like, okay, we still weren't like at our best at that moment, but you was letting me know like I'm sorry, like I still see you, I still love you, and that was appreciated. Oh, you didn't answer the second part. Why?
Why? Oh, just the same reason why you said. Like, it's like a quiet, and it's not a good thing. I admit it's not a good thing, but it's like a quiet way of still, because you feel misunderstood or not heard, it's like I'm still
like a non-physical jab.
Yeah, I'm throwing little jabs to say like, you're not listening. You didn't hear me. Like, I'm still mad at the fact that you didn't understand what I was trying to say.
Okay. I'm happy that you were completely honest and transparent there.
I'm happy that you were. How do you get past your emotions with your partner? Like, how do you personally get over fights with me? Internally, not nothing that we need to talk about, something that you do.
It's a couple factors, like,
and I want it both ways. When I'm mad at you and when you're mad at me. Like, when you know you've done something wrong and when you know that you're right about something and I've done something wrong.
So, okay, I'll answer the first part first. If you're upset at me about doing something wrong, I think taking accountability is the major part of it. And sincerely doing it and letting you know that it's not just saying sorry or apologizing, but seriously taking accountability, letting you know that I understand, what went wrong, what I may have done wrong, whatever the situation is. So
I have to say to you all, you're not always on the money with that, but go ahead.
But I'm just answering your question. Okay.
Okay.
In doing that, I think that starts the process of letting you know, like, I'm not trying to deflect from the situation. I'm not trying to disregard your feelings, and you're heard, you're understood. I'm taking accountability. So I think that, and then my actions, and it's kind of like left up to you because you're the one that's upset.
The best apology is change behavior.
Right. So now, in terms of me, if it's something that you've done, I think it's the same. And when it's felt that I'm heard and I'm understood, then that helps the process. And then, we kind of started this thing that we'll say, like, is this a hill to die on? And some situations of course can be more paramount than others, but you think to yourself, like, in the scheme of our life, like, this isn't a deal breaker. Like, nothing that we've gone through is a deal breaker. And that doesn't mean just because it's not hitting or cheating that it's not still important, that somebody's
or serious.
Yeah, that it's not still serious. But you think to yourself, in the scheme of things. And then always remember, we talked about this on one episode, that one piece of advice that my mom ever gave me, it's like, are you leaving? If so, then start the process. If not, start the process of not getting over it, getting through it. Because I think getting over it is part of the problem, where that's that brush it under the rug kind of mentality.
Over it, like, let's just go back to normal. Like, right. You can't just go back to normal.
Yeah, and one thing that I've learned, and I started doing for myself, not on no large scale, because I think this is like some psychological work that I probably need to do with a professional, but sometimes things make me really upset that the normal person might not be upset about. And I can't think of anything specific, but I'm a little weird with that sometimes. And I have to think for myself, like, why did that make you so mad? Like, what are you really mad about? So I tried, that's part of my process that I've started doing. I mean, thank God, I know, we go through things, but thank God we haven't had that many instances where it's like, oh my God, we're always mad at each other. We really, it's probably like a 90-10. Would you agree?
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, the statement you just said before that, where you get mad at something. It's like, I've told you that for a while, that you can be mad at something and I could be like, why the fuck is she mad at this? And it's like, I'm trying to think of 50 reasons why you get so, not that you're mad at it, that you're this mad at it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the fuck? But you still want your feelings to be validated.
Yeah, like some things are so triggering. And I have to take a step back and think, like, what is, like, okay, looking at the surface, this is what y'all are arguing about, or what the topic of discussion is. But peel back some layers. What is it about this that's really eating at you? And I have to do that because it's like a physical, maybe I'm too in tune with my emotions or something, because it's like a physical feeling where I have to get to the root of it. And then once I acknowledge that, and it's like, okay, tell him this is how you feel, and then work from there. And then sometimes, I could be mad and I just look at you, whether you sleep or on the sofa, and it's like, I love him. Like, we gotta get past it because I love him. I miss him. I want us to be good. I don't want to, again, just brush over it. I want to resolve it, but let's get that done so we can get back to being us.
I answer the question, but I get over it with, I have to feel as if I'm fully understood. Arguments to me are just two different points, and I think listening is the best way to argue, because me personally, I just want to.
Say that again. Listening is the
best way to argue
okay.
Because I feel personally like I just want to be misunderstood. I don't want to fight.
You just want to be understood.
I want to be understood. I'm sorry, not misunderstood. I feel misunderstood. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I don't want to holler. I don't want to be in a bad mood. Like, I want to stay happy all the time. Like, I want to live in fairy tale land. Mm-hmm. So, and I know that, with adults, there's going to be a difference of opinion, but I just want to be heard and understood and validated. Like, I just want my opinion, my thought to be validated and not. And I think when you said that statement, like, when we sometimes go through stuff, you have a huge problem with trying to understand, like what I just said. Why is she so mad at this thing? And I don't understand, but I still have to say she's upset, and she's not going to get over it until we figure out why she's upset. And I feel the same way. Like, I just want to be misunderstood and
understood.
I want to be understood. And sometimes if you don't understand why I'm upset about something, then you don't put weight into it, which makes me feel more misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can tell you something and you'll process it and be like, well, I wouldn't be mad at that, or I don't understand why you're mad at that, and it doesn't get the same weight as if the little thing that you're mad about, I have to care about so much. So that's how I would get through arguing with my partner. It's just being understood. It's the weed, y'all.
Oh God, he has he been really doing some homework.
So, do you think therapy should be an ongoing practice in your marriage, and why? And when I say ongoing, I mean like, because even when we went to therapy, we was taught, even when you're good, you should check in.
Yeah.
So, do you think like once a month, once every quarter, should be ongoing for the immediate, for the future, or do you think like, and it's okay to say like, no, I think we're okay.
You know what?
Or do you think like, yeah, it's nothing wrong with checking in every 3 months or checking in once a month to say, yo, we had a good month. This is how our month went. Are we good? This is some things I'm feeling. I'm saying the same thing. This is some things I'm feeling, but for that month, and then the following month, we starting off fresh.
I think maybe a quarterly, if you're good, I think a quarterly check-in is warranted.
Is it the weed?
I don't know. I've heard somebody say before, like you should seek therapy during times of peace, not just times of war.
I just said that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I also heard that. Yeah. So I do think it's a good thing. I think sometimes we get caught up in like, oh, I'm good, I don't need anything. But it's just like, and I've said this before, like you go to your annual checkup to your doctor's office once a year. That's your annual checkup, not to say that you go to a sick visit when you're sick, but you go to your annual checkup just to kind of let them listen to things, listen to your heartbeat, listen to your lungs, check your ears out, check your eyes, just to make sure you're okay. And
you know what I don't realize, and I only had one annual checkup in my whole life. But why does a year-long a checkup take 15 minutes? But that's another story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's not get into our medical system yet. But you think like when you go to therapy, you know how our experience was. It's kind of the same thing. They're listening to your heartbeat because they're listening to the tone of your voice. They're listening to how you respond to something. They're just like in a doctor's office. They're paying attention to your reaction, like when they hit your knees and stuff.
Your lungs when you breathe in.
In therapy, they're paying attention to how you react to certain things, your facial expressions, so they may be able to identify something that maybe you don't think that was a trigger, or we may just be having a conversation and you say something and my reaction to it may be a signal to them like, she wasn't feeling that. And they, how therapy can be, they peel back the onion on something and you be like, geez, all I did was, wrinkle my nose, but they identify that. Or I say something and your lips get real tight and they, can be like, oh,
that's triggering for them.
Exactly. So I think it is something that should be implemented in relationships, quarterly. And then, if you have a therapist going quarterly and you're going through something, then hopefully you can coordinate where you can say, okay, we come in June, February, March. Like we came in February, or let me say March, June, September, December, but after December, we started going through something. Can we come like every other week for maybe a couple months just until we kind of get things squared away and then resume our normally scheduled program? So I do think that it should be implemented I think quarterly is good when you're good.
I agree, and I was in agreement with a month, but in hearing your outlay, I think quarterly would work. I just want to say on camera that I think I'm in the best marriage. I love you, but I also think we should implement that.
I'm with it forward. So you gonna make the phone call or me?
I'll make the phone call.
Okay.
All I need is a phone number. this is a question you might have to think about, and you probably, for me, I know you think you know my moment when I say this, but I never knew your moment, and it might be the same. Do you remember when you said to yourself, I'm going to be with this person and deal with this person forever? Yes. Was it a moment or day?
Yes. So this is like, it's a little emotional. So, you've never really talked. I'll just tell you and you'll know what the moment is. It's media in. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people know, well, not a lot of people, y'all who watch know, his past and some things that he went through. And we never really went really deep in detail.
Upcoming episodes.
When he's ready to. But there was a moment in our life where literally we had to leave from, we were living in one place, we were living in an apartment, and we got wind that he may be in some trouble, so we had to bounce. So we went from one side in Montgomery County to Delaware County, and we were staying in this hotel, the Media Inn,
called the Media Inn.
And it's crazy because I worked in Philly. Our mornings used to be, we get up from the Media Inn in Delaware County. He would take me to our apartment in Montgomery County in Ambler. And then he would go to work. I would get dressed for work, get on a train, go to work in Philly. Nobody knew. My family didn't know. Nobody knew we were what was going on. Then, I would go to work, come home, and he would come scoop me. We would go back to we had cats at the time, and we had this crazy neighbor. She was like one of them people who will adopt a dog that need a heart transplant because she
adopt a dog with one leg, with no legs. All I could do is lay there.
So we was like, hey, she the perfect person. Can you feed our cats? I don't even like cats, but it was his cat. But she was feeding the cat for us, and we had like packed up the furniture. So when she seen it, she's like, oh, are you guys preparing to move? It was just a crazy point in our life. Like, oh my God, thinking back to that. Running. But in that, when you talk about on the run, like literally, running. But in that moment, there was vulnerability in you that I saw that I had never saw before. Like, yeah, I knew your situation. Mm-hmm. I don't think I completely understood the gravity of it, but I knew in that moment it was like I had to make a decision, like, you going with him or not. And going with him, like, he don't have nobody else, so you gotta, he's relying on you. And I'll never forget the night. Do you mind me saying, like, we first of all, the craziness at this hotel, they gave somebody the keys to our room.
It came in like 3 a.m.
Luckily, we had the chain on the door. So the hotel, it was double beds, but we had pushed the beds together to make a big bed. So to push the beds together, and we laid across this way. So we sleep, and you hear somebody open the door, like not trying to open the door. They opened the door, but luckily we had the chain on. So we like, what's up? So they gave me keys to his room. I guess management had got it screwed up. So that right there was startling as hell. Yes. That somebody was coming in the room in the middle of the night while we sleep. But I just remember laying there and you just turning to me and saying, like, I'm scared. And you laid on my chest and you cried. And that moment was like, I'm riding. Like, I'm gonna make sure he all right. Like, I'm gonna make sure he all right. Like, I'm gonna make sure he all right. Like that. So that was the moment when I knew, like, it's gonna be, and it has not always been easy, but I've never left. You've never left. We never, it's been what it's been, and we are here.
Cool. So. Do I remember a time? I think it would be the same thing.
Media in.
Yeah, it would be media in. I can't remember another time where I felt like I needed you so bad. And I needed to tell somebody that I was scared. And, I remember that day like it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. I smoke a lot of weed, and I don't remember half the shit that I do, but I remember that day like it was yesterday.
I wonder if that's still there.
The media, I don't know. We giving it a lot of pub though.
Yeah. It was a Rita's, right? You remember we were there and we like, let's kind of have some normalcy to life. So we like went on a walk around and we walked to the Rita's and sat and had water ice and stuff. I remember everything too.
Yeah, it was dope. It was a moment
was
where we
as
was
hell.
scared, but it was a moment where we grew. Like we had, 5 or 6 of those moments. Maybe that's a lot. Maybe 3 or 4 of those moments in our 21 years of
20 years, babe.
Our 20 years. I'm always
you boosted. I mean, we've been 20 years. Yeah, 2001, 20 years.
But yeah, it was. I remember it like yesterday. Not proud of it, but it's a part of the story.
Definitely is,
Yeah,
and it's so crazy because when we think back, like our family who was watching, like I
felt bad, like just like she was like at that moment I realized how much I loved her, and I felt like shit because of where I had her at. Like I have her in a hotel, and I got this shit hanging over my head, and this ain't no way to treat her. Like she can, stand at her grandma's house. She was living better than this. Like, and don't get me wrong. Our apartment was the shit. It was a tuna can, but it was the shit.
It was small, but it was ours.
Pictures of it and everything. Like we had a power
yes, for
package
advertisement.
Yeah.
They took pictures of our apartment when they came in and seen how we had it all laid out all nice. Yes.
And we had this furniture joint back in the 90s called the power package.
That's when you get the sofa, the love seat, the 2 nightstands, 2 end tables, the coffee table, the lamps,
the bulbs, all that shit.
We was flexing. But you know what's crazy? I was about to say, like, it's weird. Those I remember when we used to ride to Ambler. First of all, we used to get up like 3:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Tosh. So Tosh was this truck. Every car he had, until his current car, he's always named him after me. All his cars. What's your car name? Tosh. Oh, you got a new car with Tosh. So Tosh then was a Ford F-150. What was it, like a 80?
It was like an 88.
Like a
stick shift.
Stick shift. We used to be out like everywhere, and we used to get dressed up. We stepping out of it.
We used to go down and
it had like rust stains on the outside, but we kept it clean. It was great. It had red interior.
With Tosh. She had cans on the side. She was a stick gray pickup truck.
If you was a valet driver, you had to learn how to drive a stick because we was pulling up to valet. Like what? Like we here.
Getting out in a dress or whatever she had on, and I had on whatever I had on. We was fly.
I remember we drove from Ambler to Great Adventures.
They was closed.
They had a corporate event where some company had rented out the park, so they gave everybody free tickets. And guess what? We drove there the next day. Again, that long behind ride in a stick shift, hot, sweating. We used to be out
from Ambler to Jackson, New Jersey.
Yes, but what I was about to say, going to Media Inn, from Media Inn to Ambler, when you would take me, those rides used to be long. And you used to pull up, used to drive around the block first, peep the scene. Then I would go get out, get dressed. Nobody knew. I don't think I ever told my sisters.
Nobody ever knew.
Like nobody ever knew. I remember going to work, and I used to work with Miss Jerry, and we was real tight, but I used to just be thinking like, y'all have no idea what my living situation is right now. Like, I had clean clothes, we had food, we had money.
I took a shower this morning.
Yeah,
I slept in a hotel last night.
Like I'm talking about going from Ambler to Media. Do y'all know how far that is?
Yep.
That's part of the story.
So that was our moment, but we're not proud of it, but it's part of the story.
Yeah.
Do you communicate and express yourself in healthy ways? I can answer this.
Not always. No. I am, again, striving to get better. But I have some opportunities for improvement. I definitely do.
I don't think I always do. I try to. And I know that I've gotten better from when I used to, because I used to not express myself in any type of healthy way. Mm-hmm. It always used to be hollering and frustration and anger. So I try my best to talk. And I think that I can until I feel misunderstood. Then my mind gets scrambled. It's almost like an anxiety attack. Like when you have an anxiety attack, it's almost like you here, but I want to be over there.
I never dealt with that. I mean, I know
that's how it feels. Like I'm here now, but I want to be over there. So that's how I feel when I'm misunderstood. Like, this ain't working for me. This ain't working for me.
I know one of my biggest flaws in communication is it's like when I feel myself getting angry, I shut down. And it's almost like I don't know how to de-escalate. I have to be like, just shut off. Like, you know how you turn off a machine.
Reboot.
Yeah, because it's like,
you don't know how to down gear.
Yeah, I can't talk right now.
Well, you can't drive stick anyway.
I never could.
Why.
Yeah, it was like I don't
understand the concept.
Yeah, like I don't like right now we're at a 10 and we need to be at a 4, and I don't know how to do 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So I'm gonna go to a 0.
And boot back up to 4.
Yeah, and so I know that's not good. So that's what I'm saying. I know that's one of my biggest areas, because it's like, okay, once we add a 10, it's like, in my mind, it's like, I know that I can't talk to my husband like this. I love him. And the things that, like, I don't want to be that person. I'm not going to allow myself to be that person. So it's like,
that's not healthy.
No.
You should find another way to cope.
Yeah. So I know that's one of my biggest areas of opportunity.
You're a smart person. You should find articulation in your words.
That's the thing. Like, all I could think about is
I heard somebody on a podcast. Actually, it was DC Youngfly. He said, I've never heard nobody. I used to stutter. And we used to talk about people who stutter and just, like, trying to talk. He was like, I was trying to say my words, and the motherfuckers wouldn't come out. I'd come to my mom and be like, and nothing would come out. And he was like, so I had to say so first. So I had to be like, so I want to go outside. So I want something to eat. And I stopped stuttering. So
wow.
It's just weird that when you say that's like, what was the statement you just said?
Like, all I can think of is profanity. Like, it's like all I want to say is curse words.
Yeah, and it's like, why?
And I don't even talk like that. I don't know. It's like a trigger. That's why I don't like yelling, because it's like a trick. It's in my mind. It's like my mind associates. If I'm yelling and I'm this angry, it's almost like it's time to fight. You shouldn't be in this kind of predicament in a loving situation. Like, it's like my mind can't say
you can't
this
fight
is
your husband.
I know.
So you should find a better way. If now that you're talking about it and you
identify
one, you
shouldn't get to a 10.
No, but I'm just saying.
I agree.
You should, even when on a 6, you should try to find an articulation of your words.
I don't want to curse at a 6. It's when it gets to a 9 or a 10 where it's like, if I'm yelling, that's when I have to stop, because, and you know me, babe, I don't yell like often.
The bottom line is you should find articulation in your
I agree.
words. You should go to your vocabulary, not your curse words, your regular, normal indoor words.
Yes.
And use them.
I agree.
Effectively.
I agree.
Okay?
Yep.
Last question. Do you feel obligated to be an example for what Black love looks like?
No. No. I feel obligated to love you. I feel obligated to love you, honor you, respect you. Let me go back. I feel obligated to God to honor our vows that we took. And in that, my obligation is then to you to love, honor, respect you and myself by setting boundaries, setting parameters, ensuring that I'm receiving what I need and that I'm also giving you what you need. So that's the only obligation that I feel. And then, that'll translate to the world however it does. But I don't feel that, and I feel like in doing that, being our authentic self, that'll be the example for Black love to whoever want to use it as an example. Mm-hmm. Because our example of Black love, others may not find that that's an example. Like, you might got some people that be like, you out your mind. I wouldn't be going back and forth to no hotel like on no Bonnie and Clyde stuff. So our Black love may not be the Black love for them.
Right.
Somebody else's Black love, I'm not looking to nobody else for an example of Black love. Like, right. That's never And maybe because I didn't grow up having that, it wasn't like I ever looked to somebody else for
some
that.
People don't have parents like when they grow up like that to see black love, but some people have couples that they look to. Like some people have power. Like some people love Barack and Michelle. Some people love Jay-Z and Beyonce, and they actually look to them to be like, that's black love, that's a power couple. And they don't necessarily want to be them, but they like the love that they see in that. And they I want my relationship to be that.
And see, and what I see in that is that they look beautiful together in pictures. You have no idea what goes on in their house. Barack Obama
I got an idea. I'm sure they got the same shit that everybody
Barack
else
Obama smoked cigarettes, so he would never be my man. We know J and B just from their music, you know, the adultery and stuff like that. And people can say what they will and won't accept. You know that, so I hear what you're saying, and I know that there are people that do that. And if somebody does feel that, I know in our family, you know, we have, you know, kids that we love, and I want them to see an example of love and how a man treats a woman. You know how Mace looks at you when, you know, you're with me. He's like enamored at the fact that you're hugging me. So I want them to see that. But I feel like I can't have that as my focus, showing them an example, because then I lose focus of what's really important, and that's God first and you second. So that's how I feel.
I agree. I don't think we're obligated. I just think we're obligated to God, to each other. Like you said, to have boundaries, and our sole focus for the rest of our lives is supposed to be on each other. Obviously, individually, we got to be whole to come to the table. But yeah, I agree with you on that. That was good.
Yeah, that was.
That was the last question.
I felt like you were like been reading some psychology books or something.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this, trying to get this thing done here. I'm trying to do this here.
Get it done, Teddy. Get it done.
So yeah, that was Act 2, episode 22. I had a good conversation. Deuce. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoy this one. We did.
We did. This was I enjoyed it.
We didn't sit down, like she said, living our truths at our best, but just this show and this conversation, if we're honest and living our truth, it always brings us closer to, one step closer together. So Absolutely. We appreciate y'all. We damn sure appreciate God for being in us and through our words, and having what we speak here be our truth. So we hope y'all enjoyed it. It's your boy International Walt.
Your girl Tosh.
And Act 2 the podcast, episode 22. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should.